The Diary of Lucky, A Stray Dog's Journey. If you ask me how long a dog can remember, I would say forever, because dogs don't count time in years. We count it in heartbeats, in the number of times someone calls our name with love, in the silent moments when we wait, even when no one comes. My name is Lucky, but I didn't always have a name. Before that, I was just the dog. I was born in a cardboard box under a dripping rooftop. I don't remember much about my mother, but I remember the boy. He found me one rainy morning, tucked inside a soggy blanket, whimpering beside my siblings. He picked me up with trembling hands and whispered, "You're MIT now." He was small, maybe 10 years old, with hollow cheeks and eyes too sad for someone so young, but his voice was warm, and every day he would sneak bits of bread and rice for me. We shared everything, the same old floor to sleep on, the same roof that leaked every time it rained. He called me his best friend, and I believed I would never leave his side. The morning everything changed. The house was louder than usual, shouting, crying, doors slamming. The boy held me tight as his father yelled and packed bags into an old, dented car. The boy whispered to me through tears, "If Dad doesn't let me keep you, I'm sorry, MIT." The car drove for hours. I kept my head on his lap, watching the trees blur past. But then we stopped on an empty dirt road, surrounded by fields. A hand grabbed me, not his, and I was thrown. "Get lost, Mutt," the man barked. The car door slammed. I ran after them, barking until my throat bled. But the dust swallowed the tires, and the boy never looked back. That was the day I stopped being MIT. That was the day I became no one. I wondered. Days turned into weeks. I scavenged for scraps, dodged stones, and hid from cruel hands. People cursed me, kicked me through boiling water. When I got too close, the rain became my only blanket. Hunger is my only companion. At night, I curled beneath broken staircases and dreamed of the boy. In my dreams, he still called me MIT, still smiled, still held me when I shook from fear. But every morning, I woke up alone. I met her by the trash heap behind the marketplace. I was barely standing, ribs showing, fur matted, one leg limping. She didn't scream, didn't flinch. She just looked at me and knelt down slowly. She tore a piece from her bread and held it out. Her hands trembled slightly. "You look worse than me," she whispered. "Want to be friends?" I don't know why I didn't run. Maybe it was the way she didn't pity me. Or maybe it was because her eyes looked like his. That's how I met Anne. One afternoon, Anne didn't come back from school. I waited at the gate until the sun dipped. Then I waited more. When night fell, I knew something was wrong. I followed her scent through alleyways and over fences, my heart pounding. I found a trail, drops of blood, a torn ribbon. Then a shack in the woods. Inside, Anne was tied to a chair, her mouth gagged, eyes wide with terror. Two men were talking in low voices. I didn't think. I launched myself through the broken window. They hit me, kicked me. I bit until I tasted blood. I barked and howled until lights flashed and sirens screamed in the distance. When the police came, I was unconscious, curled beside her feet, the edge of life. The vet said I might not make it. Broken ribs, internal bleeding, infection, and stayed by my side for 3 days, refusing to eat. She held my paw and whispered, "You saved me. Please don't leave me too." On the 4th day, I opened my eyes. The first thing I saw was her smile. Weeks later, a man arrived, Anne's father. He had left years ago after her mother died. Now, he wanted to take her to the city to a better life. he said. I cried. She begged to stay. Her grandmother, with eyes heavy from years of sacrifice, simply said, "Go, child. You deserve more than this place," before she left, and knelt beside me. "Wait for me, Lucky. I'll come back. I promise." And then she was gone. I stayed with the old woman until she could no longer rise from her bed. When she passed, I howled not like a dog, but like a soul left behind. Neighbors tried to chase me off. Some threw stones, but I remained. Every morning, I sat at the gate. Every evening, I watched the road. They called me foolish. They said she had forgotten. But I remembered every heartbeat, every whisper, every promise. Because dogs don't forget. The day she came back, I almost didn't recognize her. She was taller. Her hair is longer. Her voice is more certain. But her eyes were still Anne's. She dropped her suitcase and ran, her arms wrapped around me. Before I could move, I told you I'd come back. My legs were weak. My fur was gray. But in that moment, I was the puppy again. I was MIT. I was lucky. I was home. Epilogue. I don't know how much time I have left, but I know this. I was loved, and for a stray dog, born in a box and abandoned on a dirt road. Thank you for listening to the whole story. Stories Across Time is a place where timeless stories are retold with emotion, compassion, and the power of belief. Each video not only touches your heart, but also helps you see life through a deeper, more reflective lens. If you love heartwarming, inspiring, and soul-healing stories, hit subscribe and join us on a journey to discover life's most meaningful messages. Subscribe to Stories Across Time today, where every story matters.